Where are we right now? I feel like we stepped back in time. What is that? What are those? I have a feeling I'm going to learn something today.
Most people think they're going to break, you know. I can't hit that. Look at that.
We've got mashies, we've got niblicks, we've got spade mashies, we've got jiggers, we've got mid-irons, we've got bulldogs, spoons, brassies, all the clubs of yesteryear.
You know, people go out there not expecting a lot, and it's kind of a hoot.
This is Hickory Golf. We're here at Pebblebrook Golf Course in Sun City West, Valley of Phoenix. We're gonna have 2 days playing with clubs over 100 years old. We've got senior division, super seniors, ladies, and people that have never played Hickory Golf before joining us to have a good time. The mission for Society Hickory Golfers is to preserve the game of once it was played. So we're playing a game of golf that's over 400 years old. Most people playing the game today are hitting these modern technology, but they don't know where the game came from. So the Society is all about bringing the history back into the game, playing with clubs prior to 1935, kind of the golden era, the Bobby Jones era of Hickory Golf.
The history of playing with Hickory golf clubs is very new actually in the United States. When we first started playing, we were collectors that liked to play with the old clubs, but we were just a small group of guys. I'd say in 2000, when we were playing a match against guys in Britain, and we were at the Dunvegan Hotel in St. Andrews, we kind of came up with the idea of it. So we decided we needed to develop a set of rules. You know, USGA rules didn't apply. We developed a handicap system. It started growing, and now probably in the States we have a couple thousand people that play. The mission of the Society of Hickory Golfers is to promote the game of Hickory Golf through tournaments like here. Here in Arizona, Kenny has developed this tournament, which is great because they introduce people to the game.
This thing's pretty good. I'm the club junkie, right, with the high-tech stuff and stuff, so Tad Moore invited me out here to play with Hickory clubs. This is something totally different to me. And to be honest, I thought I'd not be able to hit them at all.
Right.
But surprisingly enough, they go pretty straight. Not very far, but pretty straight.
Oh my gosh.
How straight you can hit it.
You're lazy though. All right, I want to try one. Look at that.
Not so bad, right?
Not so bad at all.
It's just funny, isn't it?
Just this whole phenomenon is cool. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Would you mind if I took a look at your mashie? Maybe played with your niblet?
Or a jigger. Want to see my cleek? How about my bulldog? There we go.
Just so you guys know, this is a putter. Custom fit putter by Cool Clips here.
Not exactly. He's gonna make it. Not bad, right?
How far is my spade mashie supposed to go?
What exactly is a spade mashie? You can't read it.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything on it.
Now what is this one?
It's a jigger.
A jigger.
Oh my gosh, it's so tiny. That's not bad at all.
The garb is big. A lot of people get into it, knickers or a long pair of slacks, and women in particular. Yeah, women dress up pretty good.
So what do you guys love about this event?
It's fun playing with gals that are brave enough to get dressed up and come out here and...
We got Ricky Fowler here in 30 years.
I've known Mark for a long time. To me, he's kind of the genius of all the modern stuff, and I'm sort of the genius of the old stuff. So we want to kind of figure out what's the secret, you know? What's the secret to that club, you know? Why does it play good? He'll be twanging it and testing it. Maybe we'll learn something. Never know.
I'm surprised, by the way, or astonished on how well I hit them. Another thing to see what happens when we test them. So to put this shaft in a machine that's designed 100 years after these things were created would be comical. There's got to be some reason they go straight. I don't know what that is, but we'll find out, I guess. I'm kind of excited to get these back in the shop and test them out and see what they actually do.
Hell yeah.
All right. We're going to put one of these old shafts in our S3 machine, which kicks out 200,000 pieces of data in like 2 minutes, and see why they're good and why they're not. All right, we had some fun on the golf course, and now we're back at Cool Clubs trying to find out why these things actually work. We actually measured them all here, lofts, lies, frequencies. So we're going to put them in an S3 machine and measure the shafts on the latest technology. And we're going to come back and on TrackMan compare the new Callaway Epic, one of the most modern drivers, trying to find out, why these things still work even though they're 100 years old. So we're back here in the R&D department trying to figure out why these shafts actually still work. So just for fun, we actually put one of these old shafts in our S3 machine, which kicks out 200,000 pieces of data in like 2 minutes, and see why they're good and why they're not. We tested the shaft, and essentially what's happening here is straightness. Think pool cue, not very straight compared to the modern shafts. It's much heavier than current shafts, like 160 grams, versus the ones we play now in a driver are probably 50, 60 grams. It's relatively consistent as far as frequency on how it bends in different directions. It's only one material, right? It's all wood. There's not a lot of variances there. Kind of explains why you hit them relatively straight. They're heavy and relatively stiff. So let's go into the bay next door and we'll have one of our better players hit this versus a modern driver and see what the difference really is. All right, Chris, hit a couple of the old clubs. Hit a couple of that. So we had Chris hit both drivers, the Tadmor 100-year-old club and the Epic, which is one of the most modern clubs on the planet. You can see actually the Tadmor is actually, if anything, a little straighter, smaller circle than the Epic because it goes shorter, obviously. Clubhead speed dropped about 8 miles an hour, which makes sense. You got a 60-gram shaft versus a 180-gram shaft. Ball speed went down a little bit, 160 down to 145. Launch angle similar, spin rate similar. Distance total, 270 versus 300. That's about 30 yards. But overall, it goes in the fairway and it goes relatively far. I thought they'd be wet noodles and bouncing all over the place, and they really aren't. They're much stiffer than I thought and much heavier. That's why they go straight.
Want to hear something ironic? Mark won the tournament, got first in his division.
In the first round, I shot 79. The second round, I shot 74.